Hello and welcome to a brand new episode in a brand new year. I want to wish you all, first of all, a very, very happy new year. Today is January the 5th. It is the first video of this year, so I have not had a chance to actually wish you all a very, very happy and successful 2020, start of a new decade. We left one behind that gave us Bitcoin, and we're now heading into a new era. These 10 upcoming years, this next decade, should be very, very interesting in the conversation around adoption, in the conversation around the next couple halvings that we'll be having within this next 10 years. And you know I'd like to start things off with just a simple question. What are you guys thinking is going to happen with Bitcoin in the next 10 years as we look back in the first decade? Although Bitcoin is officially, as of 2 days ago, the first block was mined January 3rd, 2009. So officially, Bitcoin is 11 years old. So from that time point or time standpoint, we know that Bitcoin is 11 years old, but we're entering, officially in human years, we're entering a new decade from 2020 to 2030. What do you think? What are your expectations for this new decade coming up? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Where you guys stand? Are you guys bullish? Are you guys bearish? And maybe give me some reasons as to why you're bullish or bearish on the next 10 years. What do you think is going to happen? We can talk about regulation. We can talk about adoption. We can talk about maybe some potential hashing wars or mining wars, however you want to call that. What's going to happen to Craig Wright? What's going to happen to Roger Ver and Bcash? Everything's fair. XRP, is XRP going to 589? You guys think so? What's BNB gonna do? I know BNB just started, or actually Burger King started accepting BNB. That's some pretty good news. I know some of you are going to be pretty happy about that. And I also want to start the channel not only by saying Happy New Year, Happy New Decade, but I also wanted to shout out a couple of people that reached out recently, mainly Timmy J. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Timmy J, I just want to say thank you for following the channel since last year. And, anybody who's joined and has been, actively reaching out in the community, I just want to say, thanks for that. Mr. Andy Drew 007, thank you for joining the community. Thanks for being here. And Mr. Morton, I believe, also reached out. So I just want to say thank you to the entire community. I don't mean to leave anybody out in specific. I just want to say thanks to everybody for being here. And this is pretty atypical for evening crypto. I usually don't do these videos on a Sunday evening. That's usually sacred time for the family, and that sort of thing. Take a load off. But one, I haven't been able to do a video, so I will take some of that spare time right now to do so. And then also, I do see, I saw something interesting kind of boiling a couple days ago, and I tweeted. This reminds me, if you guys are not following me on Twitter, here's my handle, the Real Shot 256. You guys follow me there. Give me a shout out. Let me know you guys are following. I'll give you guys a shout out on these videos. So, incoming rally, I kind of saw this, but I actually been bullish since 6,500. Although a lot of people are bearish, but the market conditions seem to be more on the bullish side. It's sort of a lethargic response from the low of about 64, 6,500. But as long as it's slow, steady to the upside, that's still a good sign to me. So. Again, TBJ, thanks for tweeting at us after this tweet. Just kind of wanted to know, is the rally done or is there another leg up soon? And he posted his chart. Here it is. So thank you, Timmy J, again. What do you guys think? Are we heading up for another leg up? Is there continuation to this run, or is this going to be pretty much it? So let's actually get into the charts. We'll talk about Bitcoin, obviously, and then we'll talk about some altcoins as usual. And then we'll talk about, a pretty good a trade that I entered last week that's been pretty good so far. And I do think it's got potential. I'll leave that towards the second half of the video. So let's get started. What should we expect on a Sunday evening going into Monday in the U.S. West Coast time frame? We are looking at let's actually start with the daily. Let's actually stretch this out a bit so we can see it a little better. Clear rejection off of the 55 here. That is sort of typical reaction of Bitcoin when being faced with something significant like a 55 on the way up. It's probably not going to do on the first try, probably not going to get over it on the second try. Might take a third try, right? But it's a good thing that we are retesting the 55. We've gotten above the 377, which was this long, pretty steady EMA or SMA here coming in. And the good thing is, even though we lost it, we regained it pretty quickly. This area of interest was also, I painted this blue box for you guys maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, as a point of reference for everybody to look out for. Once we broke down, we did find some lower lows to the tune of, what do we call this? The low was 68.71, but then we bounced quickly right after that. We regained this area here around 71, 7200, but then actually just went right past it, right? And now look at the volume signature on this. We did get above the exponential here within the volume, and this is something that I always look for to see if there's going to be any significant run, right? If we get above this, the exponential here within the volume indicator, then that is something that is usually telling of a stretched or a significant run. We also did see the RSI stochastic start to turn around right at that point and actually get above the 21. So again, another indicator that there is fuel to this fire. Right now, let's talk about right now. Although we are being rejected, this is a brand new candle. It's a daily candle. It just opened up about 3 hours and 35 minutes ago. So it's pretty new. The volume naturally will show a small amount of Bitcoins traded at this daily candle, because again, it's only 3.5 hours. I mean, it took 24 hours to build this candle, it took 24 hours to build this candle, and it's only been 3.5 hours for this candle. So let's wait and see what happens here. Again, if we get green all the way up above the exponential here, that's mainly what I'll be looking at. There is room to grow, or there is room for continuation within the stochastic RSI. And then we have, again, we're looking at the exponential here within the volume to let us know. Now, this is the daily, right? So even though it's not the longest of candles, we do want to look to the daily for a significant sign of where we're going to go, right? If this turns red and this turns it around, then that's pretty certain it's indicative of a turnaround, right? Or reversal, if you want. These two candles were, sort of signifying not the signature, not exactly what we're looking for any sort of telltale sign that we are going to reverse. Not exactly, but kind of look like like a fake out here. And then we did see actually the price action continue to go up. We're currently, as of right now, 72.26. So again, I am watching this from a from a daily candle standpoint. I got to give it more time to see if whether this is going to be meaningful or not. Right now, so far, it looks pretty good. I do anticipate to get a close below the 55 on this daily, and then we'll see from there. But for the time frame being, for the time being right now, on the shorter end of things, I actually want to look at the 4 hour for a better picture of it. And here we go. We already see that the 4 hour is actually getting above the exponential here. This 4 hours about to close in about 23 minutes or 22 minutes. So this is significant, guys. I do like this. I also like that this is also retesting a 377. So let's contrast with the daily, right? On a daily, we got above the 377, being rejected by the 55 again, right? Let's go back to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we haven't officially retested the 377. I'd like to see that, even if we don't close above it. I'd like to see a retest of the 377 because, again, a lot of times the first time around it gets rejected. Now, the good news though on the 4 hour is look at how many candles we've opened and closed on the 4 hour above the 200 EMA. That is significant, right? Although we did break down below it here, broke down below it here. Let's see if the third time is a charm, right? If we do get above it, just look in the history, right? Look at the price history. Anytime we're above the 200, there's usually pretty good signs, right? We got above it. Look, we shot up. This was sort of the second largest run in Bitcoin's history. Let's get rid of that guy. To the tune of about 43% or so, right? From here to this top, the retest of this descending area of resistance. But look at once we get above the 200, it's usually it's a pretty significant sign, right? So the fact that we're already doing it over here, for the third try, it's pretty significant. So pay attention to that. Again, anytime we're below the 200, it's bad news. You can pretty much bet on a short that we are going to go lower. But here's another trend, right? So there's been a few times where we've gotten above it and then lose it, above it and then lose it. So and then we have the 377 as well. So what I'd like to see here is not only this is a little bit longer, maybe longer term, maybe a week or two from now, but what I'd like to see is not only a retest, but actually start opening and closing candles above the 377 here, because again, if history serves, anytime we get above it, like the last time, this prior to this rally here, once we get above the 200 and the 377, I mean, we used it both as a catapult to really, get above these prior levels. Never looked back, and all the way up to 14,000, right? So pay attention to those two. Those are very, very meaningful, both from an SMA and an EMA standpoint. It means the rally is legit. So for Timmy J or anybody who's asking the question, is this rally over? Well, those are the things those are the things that I'm looking for to answer that question. Is this move serious? It appears to be. Hopefully we don't do this again, where we have, we get hopeful, we get hopium, and then we lose it, and people start dumping in our faces, right? So hopefully that's not going to happen again. And look for continuation to the upside again. This will probably be, this is going to be the last SMA or EMA on top as resistance. And then I've been telling you guys ever since we touched bottom here, I've been telling you guys that we have to, and we are overdue for a retest of this prior area of resistance coming up here. So again, if we get above the 377 on the 4 hour, I'm looking for a retest of 8,000. Okay, 8,000, 7,900, 8,000. Depending on what happens there. If we get above it, good, but I'd really like at that point, I really would like to see more of a daily or a daily or a 2-day candle closing above the area of resistance here. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully that answers the question. Hopefully you guys are following me on that. If you are or are not, definitely leave it down in the comments. Let me know what I can clarify or help you guys clarify for you. Let's actually draw some trend lines here. Do it good old Bob Ross style here. Let's actually put these lines of resistance sort of pretty clear, range bound. We're within this channel here, and we're definitely been trying to get above we've been poking at this line of resistance 1.5, 2.5, and now is this going to be a third time, right? So we're within this channel, or you can also see something building here. Let's take this guy, use the wick. You can also see this building here, right? Okay, so once we get to about this point here, about 75, 80% full here, expect to move. I mean, from that point forward, we can expect to move. Not to say that it's not going to happen now, but it would actually be in confluence with the thesis that it's probably not going to break above it on the first try. 1, 2, 3 official times, right? So I mean, yeah, maybe from this point, yeah, maybe we get a breakthrough, right? Because we do have this. We do have this line of resistance in confluence with the 377 pushing the price down here. So if we get above it and again close some significant candles above this area, then that'll be meaningful, and that will certainly be the catalyst to take us to about 8,000 or so, another retest of this area. All right, so that's what the 4 hour is telling us. Although the RSI is pointing downward, we did get across to the downside here. The green getting under the red there, and going down to retest the exponential here. Again, I do like the fact that we have significant volume here on the 4 hour, getting above the exponential there, so that's a good sign. There could be more room to go, especially if we do find that this stochastic RSI flips around here. Wouldn't be too crazy, but if we do flip it around here, then that's going to be certainly another indicator that we could hang around the $7,500 mark. Again, the longer that we stay there, the better, right? Actually build this box here for you guys. So the longer we hang around in this area, the better that will be, and the more we build that consolidation in there, and within that price range, that'll be again another good base to take us onto 8,000. If we can hold this, right? If we can hold this, then that is another telltale sign that there's continuation there. So look for that. Again, this is only the 4 hour. This is what I'm looking for as of right now. Things are very new from even from the 4 hour or a daily candle to go out on the limb and say, okay, this is a legitimate run. We're going to 8,000 right here, right now. We're not there yet. Let's actually be patient. Let's wait for Monday, Tuesday. Here's the other thing I do want to mention with this is with the news breaking out over the end of last week, Thursday, Mr. President Trump going out and killing the main Secretary of Defense over in the Iranian government. Taking him out is going to have a significant, in my opinion, significant impact on traditional markets. What I am expecting, this is only based on my experience and my own opinion. I am expecting the SPY and NASDAQ and all of these indexes and a lot of individual stocks to take a plunge. Just the uncertainty scares a lot of people. This is not FUD. This is actual facts. There is an expected retaliation from Iran. Things are going to get dicey. And, I do expect a pullback, at the very least a pullback here to the 55. So as that happens, this is a non-correlated asset or a negatively correlated asset. So, I've been talking to you guys about this whole thing, about this whole theory where, we're in a definite downtrend while traditional markets is in a definite bull run, right? So you can see the adverse or the inverse correlation there between the two. So here's the thing, if things get pretty serious in Iran and the United States decides to go into war, and traditional markets start to take a plunge and start to correct, I do want to look, because again, this has been the theory. This is what kind of we've been holding on to in Bitcoin land is, anytime traditional markets are doing well, Bitcoin doesn't do so well, and vice versa. So if we are going to start to have a correction in traditional markets, then we want to see Bitcoin actually get out of this downtrend, this bear trend here, and start actually making significant moves to the upside and ultimately retest 13.9 to 14,000, and then we'll see. But this is not something that should be coming, you know, anytime soon, right? This is going to take some time to develop. We'll see what the Iranian government, how they respond in the next coming days. We'll also have to see how Mr. Trump also manages the situation. He's not what you would say a diplomat, so things can get heated up pretty quickly, and that just scares a lot of people, right? All right, so I think you get my idea. I think you get where I'm coming from. So keep that in mind. Let me know down below what you guys think. Okay, so to transition out of this, let's actually talk about gold. Why? Because again, also a hedge or also a non-correlated asset or inverse correlated asset. As we see traditional markets do well, we typically gold takes a backseat to all of that. But as of late, since the past summer, we did see a correction in the S&P and Nasdaq, and then we started to see a run up in gold, getting to these levels here. I am happy to report that I took a trade on gold last week. I bought at this level of resistance here. As you see it prior, I painted it to you guys. I painted it here for you guys on the chart. A couple of weeks ago, you guys can go back a few videos and fact check this if you want. But I placed this line of resistance here as the key level, right? If we got above this level here with gold, then there was a pretty good chance that gold was going to have a significant run. I did enter into a trade, and it's working out so far. Again, with the uncertainty in Iran, between the Iran and the United States, and you add the trade wars, it's just a bad mix, right? I'm not saying that this whole thing with Iran is going to affect the trade deal with China. I'm just keeping an open mind about things because there's too much going on, and certainly can scare a lot of people again. As we do see again, my thinking is we are going to see a correction in the S&P and Nasdaq. So I am going to look for a continued run in gold. So right now it's probably a good time for the short time until everything gets resolved. It's probably a good idea to look for opportunities in things like gold or silver. I entered into gold. I'm not going to go into silver. I just think gold rules. It's like the Bitcoin of precious metal. So we'll keep it at that. All right, so let me know if you guys agree, if you guys don't agree. Let's actually look at some alts. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is actually doing the same exact thing as Bitcoin. On the 4-hour, getting above the 200 EMA here, pretty significant. Can we hold those levels? That'll be a good thing to look at. Ethereum is actually up against significant resistance as we speak at $139, $140 levels. If we can get above that, that is going to mean that we can actually find a significant run up with Ethereum, especially if Bitcoin does decide to hang around 7,500 range and just start trading sideways. That'll give some breathing room to altcoins to start running. So I am looking for that. Again, this is sort of a pendulum. It swings back and forth. When Bitcoin grasps the momentum, then you just gotta let it run its course, and then kind of scale it back, and then watch the altcoins run a little bit. So again, it's a pendulum game. It keeps swinging back and forth. It's very hard to time it, so don't try to time it. Just go with the flow, I would say. It's because again, it's very, very difficult. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but it's just know that it's super difficult to time the market. Just got to go and respond to price action, and that's why these EMAs are here. That's why these previous pivots are here, to kind of let you know where things are. So again, if we can get above 140, There's a good opportunity there for another nice little run to about 143.70. It'll probably be the next area of interest there, right around, yeah, right around here, around 143 and 50. We'll just call it 143.50. Went a little too far. There we go. Oh, let's just leave it at that. Whatever, somewhere around there. All right, that's going to be the next area. If we do get above that, then quite possibly a retest of the 377, especially if Bitcoin does run along with it. Let's look at Litecoin. Again, same sort of scenario. Actually, building almost an identical chart with Litecoin, so pretty much the same exact thing goes for Litecoin, getting above the 200. This looks a little better than Ethereum. I will say that this looks definitely better than Ethereum. Consolidating above the 200 there. We just really need to stick that landing there. If we do, then that'll be great. Let's look at Link real quick. Link BTC, Link USD. Link still stuck in a downtrend. Although, if we do take one of our little trend line drawing little tool here, if we can get, yeah, it looks like it looks like this can officially be said as it's quite possibly ready to break out. I mean, we're on a 4 hour. We did open and close this one above it. We broke down below it though, and now we're back above it. And we do see, what is this, the 89 and the 89 and the simple 100 coming in as in-confluence here as resistance. If we get above it, then we could certainly try at these the twin 200s here. That's both the 200 EMA and SMA right up here. All right, so that, I really want to see Link run. I think we're due for a nice little Link-like run for this alt. So definitely want to see that. I did enter a trade. I'm actually in the negative, but I have faith in long term in Link, so I am kind of writing it out. I'm not in too bad of a shape. That's why I'm not eager to get out of it yet. Again, XRP holding this box here. It is looking pretty positive. I will say that, getting above the 89 here on the 4 hour, starting to build a little bit of a base here. Again, if we draw another box here, look at how long how many times we've actually tried to build the base here. It keeps getting rejected 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe a fifth time will be the charm, and we can actually get up back into the 20 cents range. All right. For the time being, though, the RSI is not in confluence with that. Actually, RSI is telling us that it doesn't really like that. It looks like it wants to flatten out, though, so we'll see. I mean, it's too early to tell. Down here, let's look at EOS. So EOS breaking above this line of resistance here, broke down below it, but now, oh gosh, I mean, this is pretty weird stuff, right? I mean, just breaking down below, finding a local bottom there, and actually working its way up. Not too shabby. We want to see it hold. It does look like it might hold for a few more, maybe a day or two, and see what happens there. A definite retest of the 377 there, but a rejection nonetheless. So it's probably going to be range bound right in this area here. Probably going to be range bound here until we see a decisive move from Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks down, then this is also going to break down. If we see Bitcoin have a nice run, then EOS is also going to have its time in the day to actually have a continued run, get above the 377. Anything at this point, anything that looks like this, that has the 377 up above, and we've been able to flip resistance over these EMAs and SMAs here. Anything that looks like this, and we can actually flip the 377s as support. It's just, I mean, what else can I tell you? That's just going to be great sign that there is going to be a continued run to the upside. At that point, any chart that looks like this, I don't mean to be reckless. Trust me, I don't. But anything that looks like that is probably going to be a good thing, as long as we're opening and closing some significant candles above those areas. XLM is looking pretty weak. Starting to consolidate again, continued consolidation in this area. This sort of looks like an inverse head and shoulders. It does look like it's playing out already, but yeah, I mean, there's significant volume. I mean, again, these are very shallow altcoins. There's not a whole lot of trading volume in these, but you know, this is the bar isn't too high, is what I'm trying to say with these altcoins. So again, they can be easily manipulated because they're shallow markets, because they're shallow in market cap. So again, just keep that in mind. But at this point, I'll say this: it's looking like we could have a retest of 48.048. All right. So, yeah, especially again, if we see that Bitcoin consolidates in these ranges or even goes higher, then alts should also follow. VET, this is now going to act as resistance, being rejected by the 200. Nothing really to see here, except that another rejection of the 200. If we lose at 30, then we're probably going to go back to 0.0050. All right, just keep that in mind. Let's look at waves. Waves did something pretty cool. Once it broke above this line of resistance, broke out. It's a pretty good trade. I was not paying attention to it, sadly. So, but here's a good point of maybe a bounce here. A nice retest of the 200 and quite potentially a bounce off of these levels. So pay attention to waves. I don't think waves is done here. It's looking pretty good, actually. Looking pretty good. Yeah. I mean, using this base, using the 200, we could potentially see a bounce here. I do want to see again some trading volume extending over the exponential there, and also the RSI getting into the neutral zone and getting above the 21, also to give us a solid indicator that we are going to see probably a retest of this high here at around 0.0001531. All right. Okay. All right, guys, I think I've got everything off my chest for tonight. I hope you guys have a tremendous start to the year, a tremendous start to the week. I absolutely appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me know that you're following. Also, I'm on Twitter. You guys can always reach out there for any updates, any questions. Love to chat it up with you guys. All right. Well, let's get going, guys. See you guys next week. And we'll do it again. All right. See you guys later.